Hello everyone, my name is Tanay, a student from CEPT University pursuing my Masters in Construction Engineering and Management, and my student code is PCM24411. As part of the first semester studio, Construction Formulation and Appraisal, a feasibility study was conducted for an iconic commercial building. My portfolio covers a part of this feasibility study. Firstly, location analysis was carried out to determine the best location for the project, after which financial analysis was carried out to gauge the financial viability of the project using different metrics. The tool of choosing by advantage was used to assess alternatives for major decisions the project will face. So the project brief. The iconic commercial building is a prestigious project, one of India's first twisted towers. This iconic structure blends aesthetics with functionality. It aims to offer businesses and professionals with office spaces and showrooms. The project is situated in Gift City, Gandhinagar, which offers it access to India's premier financial and business hub, as well as the utilities and infrastructure within. As shown on the map, the project is located in the heart of Gift City in the domestic tariff zone on a land parcel of 4,316 square meter. The built-up area is 52,538 square meter, and the building is divided into 4 basements in 31 floors, which are spread over a height of 120 meters. It consists of 388 office units. Location analysis was carried out for the project on a macro and micro scale. For the macro scale, cities in Gujarat were considered as the developer usually operates in Gujarat. The three cities were Ahmedabad, Vadodara, and Gift City. Macro parameters identified are as follows. Cost of land, a primary factor as it is the initial investment and it is dependent on connectivity, location, accessibility, and current market trends. Demand, demand for real estate was gauged to the number of commercial projects being registered every year in each area. Client network. Here we considered the existing network of client by how many projects they have carried out in each area. Brand recognition. With the building aiming to be an iconic cornerstone project, factors such as visibility, political and media influence were considered as important. Livability index. With Gift City promoting a walk to work culture, residents will be living nearby, and factors such as demographic, safety, housing, planned environment, and amenities were taken into account. Future scope. The economic growth of the city and its contribution to GDP was taken into account. Traffic density. Since commuting is of utmost importance for a commercial project, traffic density is an important factor. Transport facilities. Again, for commuting, modes of transport were taken into account. Urban infrastructure. Clients may consider utilities and urban infrastructure which is available nearby the project. Vacancy rate. It means the number of unoccupied units in an area. Now for microanalysis. For microanalysis, Gift City was taken into consideration and two plots were considered there. Plot 37C, which is next to Gift Club, and plot 55, which is in the central area near riverfront development. And the micro parameters that were considered were cost of land, so comparing the cost of both plots, the selling rate, comparing the selling rate of both areas, and the ease of construction. So permissions for workability such as night permission and disturbance to residential areas. Accessibility to metro. Metro being the primary route of commute is of great importance, so the distance from both plots was considered. Amenities. Nearby Amenities nearby the location such as food court, banks, hotels, and petrol pumps were taken into account. Based on these parameters, a rating scale was prepared and ratings were allotted based on weightage. Here is the table for macro parameters. After comparison of three locations and analysis of macro parameters, it was concluded that Ahmedabad was the best city to develop an iconic commercial building, as shown in the table through the highest score. We also carried out micro-analysis between two plots in Gift City. Due to the lower land cost of plot 37C, it was concluded that it was the best overall option. Financial analysis was carried out to gauge the financial feasibility of the project. Firstly, outflow expenses of the project were calculated. They were divided into 5 stages. Inception stage, so land acquisition, development permissions, marketing of project, and procurement of consultants. Design stage, the fees for architectural, structural, MEPF, green building, and wind tunnel consultants. Planning stage, the fees for PMC and PCC. Construction stage, the execution of substructure, superstructure, and other work such as facade. Occupancy, facility management, and repairs as per requirement. The project schedule. So the inception stage was considered for 2 years, as Gift City norms dictate that payment of the land is to be done in 2 years, and the cost for inception stage was around 117 CR. Design stage of 3.04 CR, so the fees for all consultant was totaling to around 3 crores. Planning stage 3 crores and construction stage of 331 crores. So the design, planning and construction stage were taken simultaneously from 2023 to 2026, and an occupancy stage cost of 167 crores was taken for 20 years. Inflow expenses were considered mainly as sales of units and maintenance or facility management. So the sales were divided into 7 years, with 150 units being sold the first year, then 100, and subsequently. The rate started at 59,201. However, after every 50 units sold, an increment of 3,200 rupees was considered, and after 250 units were sold, an increment was considered after sale of every 25 units. A schedule of payment was prepared for collection. 10% was upon booking, 20% after signing of after subsequent signing of agreement, 45% after completion of slab, and 25% after handover. So as seen in the revenue column, 18 CR was collected in the first year, and the major payment is in 25-26 and 26-27, as it is the uh, period of completion of slab and handover. Similarly, maintenance was calculated. A yearly maintenance rate of 1033 was taken per square meter, and it was taken in a slab of 4 years, as an increment of 10% was considered every 4 years. Yearly outflows and inflows were calculated to determine the net cash flow. As shown in the table, net cash flow was found from 2023 till 2048. This net cash flow was used to calculate the IRR and NPV. So the internal rate of return is the investment's rate of return, and it was found out to be 54%. And the net present value compares the future cash inflows with the initial cost, and it was found out to be 67.7 CR. So these metrics indicate that the project is a healthy one and financially feasible. So the nominal case, a scenario was considered for nominal land rate. Gift City allots land through auctioning, and the base rate is 17,700 per square meter, which is the rate considered for the base case. However, current rate is over 50,000 per square meter. So a nominal rate of 33,000 per square meter was considered, and outflow expenses were changed, and IRR and NPV was calculated to be 14% and 2.5 crores, which indicate that the project would not be as profitable as the base case. Scenario analysis was carried out by comparing four different scenarios. So case 1 was the base case, with regular selling with 6% yearly appreciation for inflows at the same rate as the base case. So for example, in 2023, the inflow was 18 crores, and with a 6% appreciation every year. In 24, 6% of that 18 crores will be considered as an inflow, and subsequently for every year and each inflow. For case 2 was the selective selling model, selling a higher number of units at a later stage to avail a higher selling rate. Case 3, 50% sales and 50% rental model, and case 4, 100% rental model, where all units were rented at the rate of 8,300 per square meter and an increase of 7% every year. So the yearly revenue for scenarios indicate that the first 15 years, the selling model will obviously provide better revenue. However, over 25 years and over time, the rental models will actually provide more revenue than the sales model. Comparison of IRR and NPV for the scenarios indicate that the selling models have an IRR of around 80%, and the rental models have an IRR of around 20%. And after comparison of four scenarios, it was concluded that the selling models will land the developer more capital upfront, while the rental models will provide a better yield over time. After 25 years, the selling model will yield 2,000 crores, while the rental model will yield 2.5 thousand crores. However, from the perspective of private developer, it is better to sell off units earlier, as he can reinvest in other projects. So finally, a debt scenario was considered, where a loan of 44 crores was considered, which is 10% of the total project cost, at an ROI of 12%, and the repayment period of 6 years was considered. So after the inflow was added as the loan, the IRR and NPV was calculated to be 106% and rupees 69 crores, which is very profitable. Choosing by advantage is a decision-making tool used to make comparisons between options and quantify the best outcome for the project by defining factors and deciding must-have criteria for each factor. So the first problem considered was the type of column. Three alternatives were considered for providing the twisted shape to the building. The first being straight column, second being inclined, and third being tapered column. So factors were categorized for client, designer, contractor, and facility managers. Some factors were aesthetics, time required for construction, shuttering system, and structural audit, while the must factors were constrained with floor plates as shown in the table. For twisting floor plates, different type of columns will result in different constraints, such as the straight column slab will have to be cantilevered to provide a twist, which will have limitations. Secondly, material specifications of concrete. So for straight columns, concreting quantity will be slightly lower than inclined and tapered columns. Similarly, for steel, it will also be low. The steel requirements will be lower for straight columns, as for inclined and tapered columns, it will have to deal with eccentricity and torsion, so higher amount of steel will have to be provided. And the other factors were the experience of consultants and design complexities. So after deciding importance of each advantage, it was found out that inclined columns received the highest score. So the second problem considered was the material of facade, and three alternatives taken were glass fiber reinforced concrete, aluminum composite panel, and curtain wall with double glazing. Factors were identified based on client, designer, contractor, and facility manager. And some of the factors were energy efficiency, aesthetic, ventilation, durability, weather resistance, transportation and handling, which was quantified through density. And the must factors are shown in the table, which are acoustic and thermal insulation, which are important factors to maintain energy efficiency as well as privacy for commercial projects. Fire resistance, which is important for fire norms, and frequency of cleaning, which is important to the eyes of a facility manager. As lower the cleaning rate, it will be easier. And after allotting importance, it was found out that curtain wall got the highest score, and in cost comparison also curtain wall received the highest score, making it overall the best option. It was concluded that inclined columns and curtain wall were the best option for the project. In conclusion, for location analysis, macro and micro locations were assessed on different parameters, and in micro analysis, it was concluded through ratings that Ahmedabad was the best alternative for a developer to construct a commercial building. However, due to the opportunity of exceptionally low land cost for the land parcel at Gift City, it was considered as the best alternative. Also, with the project being next to Gift City Club and wanting to be an iconic cornerstone project, is a great location for the iconic building. For financial analysis, after calculation of outflows and inflows for the considered time period, the IRR and NPV were respectively 54% and 67.71 crores. These metrics represent that the project is financially feasible for the developer. Scenario analysis was carried out to compare sales and rental model, which conclude that it is more beneficial for the developer to sell units early on. However, this being a prestigious project in Gift City, it represents a good opportunity for the developer to keep possession of the building, as after 20 years, the Gift City might have developed more, and the developer will have possession of a building in the center of Gift City. Choosing by advantage, inclined columns were chosen as the best option due to higher importance being given to constraints with twisting floor plates, and curtain walls were chosen as the material for facade. After evaluation of these and other deliverables, such as risk assessment, demand analysis, problem and context analysis, it was concluded that the iconic commercial building is a feasible project. Thank you.